Good day, everyone. I am Miss Ressa, and for today's session, we are going to introduce a new topic about the organization and management. But before that, I have here a simple quotation from Stephen Kinzer. It's about alliances and partnerships produce stability when they reflect realities and interests. So, in the field of business, it is important to have connections, to have alliances for the mutual benefit. So, you can help them, and this alliance also can help you in achieving your vision, mission, as well as the goals and objectives of your business. And having connections like alliances and partnerships will produce stability in the field of business given the realities. So what are the realities? The constant changes and as well as the competitive business environment. So take note that one of the decisions a business owner should carefully assess is the way his or her business is formed and structured. In selecting the form of business organization, the owner should consider the size and nature of the business, the level of control, the expected profit, the tax implications, and vulnerability to lawsuits because there are legalities or mga legal um, issues that you are going to face when you are going to engage a business. So these considerations will determine the type of business organization that a company will be shaped into. So that is why for this day, we are going to discuss about the business organization. So before we are going to deal with the underlying concepts, let's have a case study about the water refilling stations. So recently, reports of contaminated water supply are common in a number of urban areas. For example, here in Iligan City, where you can see lots of water refilling stations. And take note that contaminated water may lead to waterborne diseases. So that is why many households purchase bottled water as safer alternative to tap water because usually tap waters are contaminated. So there is no assurance that this water is safe and clean. And some of the people or some of the households are sensitive to bacteria. So that is why some of them will have diarrhea or mga amoebiasis. So other households use water purifiers in homes to ensure the quality of their water. Take note that bottled water, however, is expensive, and also installing water purifiers at home is also beyond the budget of almost families. So that is why the emergence of water refilling stations provided a solution to the expensive cost of clean and safe drinking water. So actually, the business of water refilling stations became popular in 2014. So there are already about 3,000 water refilling stations all over the country. And how much more now? So the continued popularity of this business may be explained by several factors. So take note that water is a basic need and the demand for clean and safe water is quite high and consistent among consumers. So here, water refilling stations, as you notice that it can be found to different neighborhoods. Even in your barangays, meron mga water refilling stations. So actually, water refilling stations are also very easy to manage. So that is why maraming mga tao, like mga businesses, engage in this type of business. So it is manageable because there is only a minimal number of employees, like 5 or even less. that you need in order to run a station. So most water refilling businesses are solo ventures by a single owner. So here, the owner serves as manager and also overseer of a store operations for a minimum of 4 hours a day. So that is why no maraming nag-engage dito kasi hindi siya time demanding and it is easy to be managed, no? Easy to manage. So this type of business does not actually require extensive background knowledge of the industry or managing experience. So almost anyone can run a water refilling station as long as you have capital, no, and the risk to take this kind of business. So in the long run, the continued demand for safe drinking water will ensure that the water refilling business will continue to flourish. So I have here some discussion questions. So if you are given a chance in the future to manage a water refilling station, would you pursue this business as well? And why do you say so? So would you? So I know that some of you here are going to pursue this type of business as well because, as I've said, water is a basic need, then it is manageable, and it does not need to hire more employees, right? And you can, as a sole proprietor or as a business owner, you can manage or you can serve your water refilling station at your own time and pace. However, some of you will not pursue this kind of business because marami nang nagproduce ng ganitong klaseng business. So, mas grabe yung competition sa market. So, why do you think that there is a steady growth in the number of water refilling stations? So, what are the factors? Bakit merong mga patuloy rin tumataas yung numbers of water refilling stations? Possibly because low lang yung capital base, then it's not really that costly, no? So, and also water is in demand, no? Safe and clean water is in demand. So, kaya marami ng mga water refilling stations ngayon ang nagsisitayuan. And take note that in this type of business, it does not require extensive background or knowledge of the industry or even managing experience. So, anyone can run a water refilling station as long as you have guts. Okay? So now, I have this last question. In your opinion, how can a manager handle this kind of business so it would stay competitive despite intense competition? So I know that you have different opinions here, no? So some of you would say that if I will be a manager, I will advertise my water refilling stations, or others would say that I will make innovative solutions, or I will improve my services so that it will have competitive advantage against mga competitors. No? So again, we have different opinions on how to handle this kind of business despite of the intense competition in the market. Kasi marami ng mga nagsisitayuan ng mga water refilling stations. So the way they advertise their water refilling station, they really emphasize it na yung water, the quality of water undergoes to different stages just to produce safe and clean water, di ba? Meron ding iba na hindi basta safe, it is also affordable, pangmasa talaga. So there are different strategies we can do in order for this kind of business to stay competitive. Okay, so now let's proceed to the different forms of business organizations. So there are three forms of business organizations based on the ownership structure. These are sole proprietorship, partnership, and corporation. Take note that a wise manager should consider the characteristics of the business organization that he or she wishes to establish in making the business plan, as each presents unique advantages, opportunities, and challenges. So first, let's talk about the sole proprietorship. So when we say sole proprietorship, these are the companies that are owned, no, by one person who is usually hands-on managing day-to-day activities. So actually, maraming mga small businesses ang nag-start ng ganitong klaseng business ownership. So here, sole proprietors or yung mga single owners, no? Sole proprietors or single owners own the entire business, including all the assets and profits, as well as they are responsible for liabilities of the business. So pag sinabi nating asset, these are the resources with economic value that are owned and controlled by the business owners. Examples of assets, we have facilities, mga equipment, machinery, cash, office supplies, and raw materials. Pag sinabi naman nating liabilities, these are the debts or utang or mga financial obligations which arise or which exist, no, in the course of the business operations. May mga times talaga na magkakaroon tayo ng mga financial obligation in the middle, no, of our business operations. So sole proprietors are also considered as single taxpayer. So single, dili single in status ha, pero single taxpayers. So since they are single, so they are assigned a single tax identification number. And also owners are apply, no, for a business trade name and register the business with the Department of Trade and Industry. Ang kagandahan lang dito sa sole proprietorship is ikaw lang mag-isa. No? Masaya maging single. Char. And here, wala kang kahati. So you can register your name, no, directly to the Department of Trade and Industry. So we have the advantages of a sole proprietorship. Number one, it is the most manageable and less expensive form of ownership. So if you want to build a business, so pwede kayo maging sole proprietor. And proprietors have complete control over the business and can make decisions based on their own judgment. Kasi wala kang kahati dito. Ikaw lang mag-isa. So walang magkukontra sa'yo and madali lang nang gumawa ng decision. Diba? So thus, it's easy to implement changes in the business setup. No? Madali lang. Kung may change sa business mo, madali mo lang siyang ma-implement. So furthermore, if desired by the owner, the business can also be easily dissolved or pwede lang siya mawala. For example, ikaw yung sole proprietor, ayaw mo nang mag-business kasi you are tired. Pag sinabi natin tired, pagod ka na mag-business. So you can easily dissolve or exit from the market. If there are advantages, there are also disadvantages, no? So the disadvantage is that proprietors have unlimited liability since they assume that all the debts of the business. So lahat ng mga liabilities na nasa business, si sole proprietorship ang mananagot. So this may put personal assets at risk when the business experience losses, and obtaining, no, additional capital is also difficult because of a low guarantee of a profitable returns to lenders. Diba? Hindi kasi sure dito na malaki yung returns mo. Kasi low din yung capital mo. So it does not guarantee that you can earn, no, profits, and you can return it to lenders. So there is also a possibility that highly skilled employees will not be attracted to work on this type of business because of the low chance to advance in their careers and to get attractive compensation and packages. Kasi low capital lang kasi. Mostly na mga sole proprietorship, it has a low capital, low monetary resources. So it does not provide mga trainings or mga sa employees, walang advancement. So that is why those who are highly skilled employees are not attracted to this type of business. So now let's proceed with the partnership. So partnership is a form of business organization where ownership of the business is shared by two or more members. And these members are called partners. The partners mutually agree as to how decisions will be made and how the profits and losses will be shared. So they also agree on how future partners will be admitted and how disputes will be resolved legally. So actually the amount of contribution, the type of work to be inputted, and the time to be devoted by each partner is also outlined, no? To ensure a clear distinction or clear na mga responsibilities. So under the Civil Code of the Philippines, a partnership is considered as juridical person. When we say juridical person, separate yung legal personality sa mga partners. They have separate legal personalities. So, ang partnership, no, meron siyang different forms, no? We have the general partnership, wherein this is a form of partnership that the partners have unlimited liability for the debts and obligations of the partnership. So this is the same with the sole proprietorship. But again, it depends on the contract. It depends on the meeting, no, of your partners, among the partners, kung ang klase ba na partnership is general or not. However, we have also limited partnership. So here, this is a form of partnership wherein one or more general partners have unlimited liability and limited partners have ability that is only up to the amount equal in their capital contribution. So natay ginatawag ng mga limited partners. So take note that a partnership, no, with a capital of more than 3,000, no, 3,000 pesos. Capital, no, partners capital, more than 3,000 pesos, they should register with the SEC or the Security Exchange Commissions. And also, income tax computations for partnership are the same with corporations. So later we are going to discuss about the corporations. So we have the advantages of partnership. So one of the advantages of partnership is its wider base capital or wider capital base. Having more partners involved, no, in business allows for diversification of the contributed monetary funds, skills, and resources. And in partnership, the expansion is also easier since maraming mga tao who are able to manage, no, the different branches of the businesses. For example, magkakaroon kayo ng partners and you want to make another branch to other parts of the country, no? So pwede yung isang partner siya yung mag-manage sa other branch and another partner will manage also to the other branch and so on. So in addition, no, those who would like to be employed in the partnership may be attracted. So here, the employment, no, is attractive under this partnership. And kasi meron din kasing motivation, no, that here those who would like to employ, no, may be attracted. They will be attracted that the incentive in working in a partnership, no? They will have an incentive of becoming a partner later on. So those are the advantages of partnership. Advantages. So one of the disadvantages is that partners are jointly liable for the obligations and effects. So it can also affect, no, the decisions of the other partners. Unless the individual responsibilities and liabilities are clearly, no, stated or delineated, this may cause agreement among the partners. Kasi marami kasi kayo dito. So mga decisions nga hindi favor si other partner. So this will cause conflict, no? Conflict of interest. So magkakaroon din kayo ng hindi pagkakaunawaan or disagreement, no? So that is the disadvantage. So here, ang partnership, it has limited life because of its general instability, which refers to an internal factors that make the partnership vulnerable to dissolution. So for example, we have here death, withdrawal, or insolvency of the partner. So halimbawa, may isang partner namatay. So what will happen to the business? Mamatay din. No, ma-dissolve yung business kasi wala na yung partner. So there is a possibility na gagawa na naman ng panibagong contract, no? Or panibagong form of partnership para ma-resolve yung dissolution na yon. So, yan yung disadvantage ng partnership. Another is we have corporation. So this is the third form of business organization, no? So actually, a corporation has a distinct personality separate from its owners. Unlike in the partnership, ang magkakaroon lang ng distinct personality is yung partner. So dito si corporation, iba siya, no? Juridical talaga si corporation. So the personality of a corporation is separate from the owners. In case na may owner na mag-back out from this corporation, hindi mawawala yung corporation, mag-i-stay siya. Unlike in the partnership na kapag may isa mag-back out, ma-dissolve yung partnership. Okay? So actually, corporation can enter into contracts. It can also secure loans, sue, and be sued. They can also hire employees and also pay taxes. So here, a corporation has a minimum of 5 and maximum of 15 owners who are called shareholders. So each shareholder owns a part of the company and has some authority over the direction. So here, shareholders may elect, no, a board of directors who oversee the major policies and decisions of the corporation. So actually, yung corporation is owned and established under the Corporation Code, and it is regulated by the SEC, or the Security Exchange Commission. So, and according to SEC, no, the shareholders of a corporation are also registered with the SEC and are assigned at least one share of the company stock. Take note, no, for those shareholders na malaki yung share sa kumpanya or sa corporation, mas malaki talaga yung authority niya or power niya to handle the company. So actually, the total shares of the company stock that shareholders, no, that shareholders may acquire will depend, no, on the capital that they have invested into the company. So kung malaki yung ininvest mo sa company, mas marami kang share, di ba? So, if you are interested to make a corporation, the minimum paid up capital required of corporation here in the Philippines is 5,000 pesos. And also, corporations are subject to tax, which is separate from individual taxes because corporation has a distinct personality. So meaning, when we say distinct personality, it is treated like an individual person. So, iba siya, no? Separate siya sa mga owners. So, that is why, no, corporation, no, is subject to tax and separate from the individual taxes of the shareholders. So take note that corporate tax are not deductible from the individual taxes of the shareholder. Because again, corporation is separate entity distinct from its shareholders. So there are two types of corporation. So we have the stock corporation. In stock corporation, it has a capital stock divided into shares and dividends. So surplus profits are given to shareholders depending on the number of shares held. So sa stock corporation, yung mga shareholders, dapat meron talaga silang mga stocks sa company. So yung stock is product, 'di ba, sa company or shares sa mga product. Another is we have the non-stock corporation. So the non-stock corporation does not issue shares of stock and is established primarily for public interest like mga foundations, mga charities, mga foundations for education, social, culture, and other similar purposes. So sa stock corporation, it's more on kanang profit-based, no, or mga monetary jud nga goal. Sa non-stock corporation, it's more on the welfare, like promoting social welfare. So, what are the advantages of a corporation? One of the advantages of a corporation is the limited liability to its shareholders. So, take note that a corporation has a separate entity distinct from its shareholders. And take note that they can only be held accountable, the shareholders can only be held accountable for their individual investment of shares in the corporation. And another advantage is that a corporation can deduct benefits, no? They may deduct benefits it provides to its employees and consider them as expenses. So, ma-record na yan as expenses. So it has also a general stability since the death or withdrawal of our shareholder does not result in its dissolution. Unlike in the partnership, sa partnership, kapag may isang partners na mamatay, ma-dissolve yung partnership. Dito, kahit may isang shareholder na mawala or mag-withdraw or mamatay, ang corporation is still there, no? Kasi separate yung entity niya. Separate and distinct entity. However, mayroon din naman mga disadvantages ang corporation. So, here, it is really complicated, no? Complicated talaga. Especially in the process of forming a corporation. So take note that incorporation, take note ha, incorporation is the process of forming the corporation. So kaya nga may mga companies na tinawag na company A incorporated. So meaning in the process, no, of forming a corporation pa or incorporation or something like that. And also, corporation is closely monitored, no, by the government. Kasi yung tax, malaki-laki din yung tax dito sa corporation. And also the local agencies like the Security of Exchange Commission or the SEC. So, kaya nga maraming paperwork ang kailangan, no, to comply with permits and other legal requirements. So that's for the different forms of business organization. We have sole proprietorship, we have partnership, and lastly, the corporation. So let's proceed with the foreign business organizations. In the Philippines, the government actually recognized four forms of foreign business organizations. And we are going to take note of these four foreign business organizations later on. So these businesses are incorporated based on foreign laws, international laws, and considered representatives of the foreign corporations. Especially here in the Philippines, maraming mga foreign na mga corporations. And they are actually regulated by the government. So first is we have the branch office. So a branch office is organized to do activities to the head office from the host country. So for example, the Canon company, so from the other countries, or Samsung. So kapag magtayo sila ng business dito sa Philippines, meron silang tinatawag na branch office. So the minimum paid up capital here is $200,000 US dollars. So this can be lowered up to $100,000 US dollars if advanced technology is involved, or at least mga 50 employees are directly employed. So of course, it is required to register with the Security of Exchange Commission. So another, we have the representative office. So this is actually fully supported by the head office and does not obtain funds from its main office overseas. So it's more on kanang representative office lang siya. So it directly deals with the clients of the parent company and engages in business activities such as communication, promotions of products, and quality control of products for export. So the initial minimum remittance here is actually 30,000 US dollars. So maliit lang for the operating expenses. And of course, it should be registered with the SEC. So another is we have the regional headquarter. So here it only performs activities that primarily involve supervision, communication, and coordination. So it is more on the administrative function lang. So it serves as coordinating center to its subsidiaries, affiliates, and branches in the region, and acts as an administrative branch of a multinational company. So actually, it does not derive income within the Philippines and does not participate in managing a branch in the Philippines. So the function lang here is more on kanang mga administrative na functions. It's more on communicating or kanang mga coordination, something like that. So in having a regional headquarter, there is a need capital of 50 US dollars. It is required for the annual operating expenses. And lastly, we have regional operating headquarter. So in the regional operating headquarter, it performs the following services to its affiliates, subsidiaries, and branches in the Philippines. We have the administration and planning, mga acquisition of raw materials, like kukuha kayo ng mga raw materials, marketing, technical support, and communication, as well as research and development. So it derives its income from its activities in the Philippines, unlike in the regional headquarter. Kasi sa regional headquarter, it's more on administrative functions lang. Dito, it's more on mga operations na. And the required capital is 200 US dollars as one-time payment. So now, let's proceed with the different classifications of business. So tapos na yung mga foreign business organizations, diba? We have branch office, mga representative office, regional headquarter, and regional operating headquarters. So this time, we're going to proceed with the different classifications of businesses. So number one is we have service businesses. Actually, yung mga classifications ng business is depende siya sa type of products or services that a business rendered. So number one is we have a service business. So this is a type of business that actually provides labor and other services to customers. So examples are transportation companies like mga airlines, mga shipping lines, meron ding mga professional services, mga like accounting, legal, engineering, mga customer service, pwede rin mga entertainment, pwede rin mga hotels and restaurants, pwede rin mga bank and lending companies because it is more labor intensive na kuan kasi na type of business. So it's more on the manpower. Another is we have merchandising business. This is a type of business that purchases products from other businesses like manufacturers and sells them to customers at a higher retail price. So example here are mga grocery stores, mga supermarkets, mga car dealers, mga real estate dealers, and of course, mga electronic stores. So ang merchandising business, it's more on buy and sell talaga, no? Like mga retailing stores and so on. Sa manufacturing businesses naman, sa manufacturing business, this is a type of business where raw materials are transformed into finished goods through product processing, labor, and other manufacturing processes. So you have to transform the raw materials or the resources into a finished goods. So examples of the manufacturers are soap and detergent manufacturing companies, mga canned goods, mga automobiles, and even mga medical drugs. Okay, so that is for the manufacturing businesses. So there are also other businesses that cannot be classified into these three types, kaning service, merchandising, manufacturing. So the other businesses here are, we have the agriculture food, mga aquaculture, and mining companies. So that's all about the business organization. And I hope that you learn something on the different business organizations like the sole proprietorship, partnership, corporation, then mga foreign business organization. We have branch office, representative office, regional headquarter, and regional operating headquarter, and also sa mga different classifications of business like mga service, merchandising, and meron din tayong mga manufacturing. So once again, a pleasant day to everyone.